afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast with me, a host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, hero of Reich, defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. In the north, it's Angreifen fighting here for the German army, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the 3rd Panzer Division on the south, it is Jove, fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin. Taking on the role here of the 2nd Guards Rifle Division with Fortifications seemingly chosen for Angreifen with double infantry Raketenwerfer versus Guard Rifle, Shock Rifle and Guard Motor here for Jove with triple infantry. Penal Trooper start there obviously here, probably with some scout cars and snipers mixed in though. So far though, no Penal Troopers. Oh, there we go. And we got double forces there for Angreifen. It's going pretty hard east, which is a bit interesting to see that from a northern play. Usually they will go west towards the cemetery, but he's interesting enough going here east for the logging area. So a bold move there by Angreifen. Hopefully, I imagine looking to disrupt his opponent's opening. I was about to say hopefully for some reason, but you know, I imagine Jove is of course not hoping for that, and that would be a bit rude to then hope he gets disrupted. Anyways, all the way nice opening there for Angreifen. Again, he's definitely trying to sort of throw his opponent off. That's usually sort of the purpose of this. Making nice of the terrain here to hide the Sturm Pioneers, so the engineers run up and then they get shot to bits. Or for that matter, any other infantry. Engineers running towards the centre here. He's probably seeing here on the mini-map the points are being seized to the fuel point, so he's probably figuring that Angreifen's got forces nearby, so he's not just going to waltz in there too recklessly. Probably because he's imagining if his opponent's already there, that likely means the Sturm Pioneers around there somewhere, so he's not just going to waltz in there, which of course slightly undermines his ambush just a tad. Then again, versus a less experienced player than Joe, this would have probably worked out absolutely beautifully. Scout cut on the way there for Jove. There's going to be a problem there for Angreifen in the early game, particularly since right now Angreifen's forces are deeply scattered across the map. I mean, a bit here, a bit there, then all the way up there, and then there. And then simply put, not going to be able to have enough firepower to stop the M3A1 in most cases, unless Angreifen gets really lucky versus Joe, which I don't think is going to be the case. They're Pilgrims moving from the north here, going for the Calf Point first. We could also try to move from the north to synchronise with the scout car attacking, to that way deal some heavy damage there to Angreifen, but decides he wants to hit the fuel point or the Calf Point first before moving up behind perhaps, which is allowing the scout car attack like a light tank here versus Angreifen's infantry in the south. And meanwhile they're pressuring in the west as well. There we go, Penal Troopers as soon as they got the point right in neutral are now beginning to swing up behind here. More Penal Troopers there for Jove. And the 2nd Guards Royal Division, Sturm Pioneers are taking heavy damage from the scout car's 50 caliber. And the Penal there go has to fall back here. Units in heavy car there proved to be a bit too much for the scout car, and Jove in this case was too slow to bring up the Penal support. So right there we see a scout car loss in the early game. That's actually a bit of a blow there to Jove. Bit of manpower and fuel loss. If he can get rid of the Sturm Pioneers though, it will make up for itself. But if it doesn't, get the white P, it's obviously not going to be quite as amazing there for Jove. It's going to be a close one. In the west, engineers heading in there for Joe. Back here, we'll probably see more Penal Troops. He could try and go for another scout car, but I'm not entirely sure if going for a second one now would be the best investment there for Jove. Back here, reinforcement for Angreifen in the German army. In the west, engineers moving up. No, he does go for the 2nd scout car. He's truly a believer in American engineering. I don't know. In the center, we got Penal Troopers versus the Volkskandidates. Again, the Penal Troopers can't easily rush them out there. And he of course has to still get some fuel somehow. At least he's again keeping the car on there out of Angreifen's hands. And the Western Engineers versus Volkskandidates. Angreifen going for a truck there. That was likely going to be the mechanized, but it could be Belgrave headquarters. There's always room for surprises. There's always room for surprises. And there you go, 2nd M3A1 out there from Jove. His own little surprise, since most Soviet players in these circumstances will not mostly, I think, commit to the 2nd one. They're just considered dead, but Jove here clearly believes again in the superiority of the M3A1. Scout car there versus a large chunk of Angreifen's infantry. They're pushing back the Penal Troopers here as Angreifen aggressively pushes towards the eastern fuel point again. Scout car there, flame units going to help there as the infantry. Mines down, truck there yet to set up. It's going to be a Belgrave headquarters though, so no looks of Puma here from Angreifen. Might be a FlaK attack, but I'm going to think are more likely. Charging straight at the Volkskandidates and routing them with ease. Sturm Pioneer versus the scout car. Heavy firing going on. Bit of back and forth there. Bit of skirmishing. Volkskandidates holding out there. In the west, Volkskandidates grabbing points as well. And we got Penal Troopers engaging westwards. Doctrine for Jove is Guard Motor. Not the biggest surprise. It has been seeing a slight resurgence again, I feel here lately, with Guardsmen here motors picking a lot. Then, of course, the T-35. Not that it was like really unpopular, but it was slightly falling out in favour of stuff like urban defence. But it does seem to be making a bit of a comeback there. Sandbags being laid up there. Guards rifling on the way there for Jove. DP lock machines to be added. More sandbag cheesing about there. Angreifen is very much fond of doing that as the Oberkommando West. And there you go, Panzerfaust ready. Most of them got out there except Yuri, who got stuck with his seatbelt. Up north here, Pulitzer was pushed back there by Fortifications. Got a mine down there from Angreifen as well. They shoot me in it. Guards moving in there. No DP lock machine guns though. And retreated. Bit unfortunate in the west though. He's been good progressive versus Angreifen. And the 3rd Panzer Division. So Jove now finding himself cut off from his fuel in the east, but of course he will soon be able to open up a western fuel point when it comes down to it. Troops reinforcing there, good to go. DP light machines being added. S-mines built up to Angreifen, got mines there from Jove. Angreifen being a player, by the way, who is very notorious for laying down S-mines, although Florence is known for, at least in my experience. And there you go, a bold move. Here we got a FlaK emplacement pin attempt here by Angreifen, but he's forced to cancel his Jove counterattacks faster than expected, but still. You don't very often see a player actually trying to pin down their opponent within their own base using a FlaK emplacement. I think, in fact, that's the first time I have seen that, so that is rather impressive. Up north, engineers laying down mines, grabbing points here. We got the FlaK half-track on the way there for Angreifen. Mines down there as well. Very good work. Very good work. Stella, and there we go. S-mines from Angreifen. He really likes those S-mines. I think that's one of the primary reasons he keeps choosing heavy fortifications so much when he plays the Oberkommando S, is because it's got S-mines. At least that's my personal theory, and I've got no real way of proving it. MD-34 there, dealing with engineers by the cut-off point. FlaK half-track almost down there for Angreifen. Not very often we see the FlaK half-track as of late, since that is very much been overshadowed by the Lux and the Puma. But Angreifen is truly a man who walks his own ways. Even though occasionally it means it goes places he doesn't have an idea how he got there in the first place. Folks are coming back into the south, harassing, sneak up behind you. Very nice work there. It's going to force him to go back towards his own car form, but still, it's got the western side there. Angreifen's actually now in a bit of a stickier situation in terms of resources. So that is a nice play there by Joe. And particularly on a map like Crossroads, which has more resources naturally than other maps, meaning you can actually use that much more aggressive sort of pull ahead if he's fast enough. And he's by there, push back. And car form being hit there. Nice play there by Angreifen. Got the FlaK after in the Penal Troopers nearby hand. No real chance since they lack the anti-tank rifles or any other support here versus the 251-17 FlaK half-track. Note there were numerous versions of the FlaK half-track with sort of different guns and different sort of layouts. This one by was a Luftwaffe field workshop modification, I think, for the Hammond-Göring Fallschirm Panzerdivision in Italy. So the way that's set up is a bit more rare and unique, to be honest. Line for going there for Angreifen for a bit of lightest artillery Unterstützung. Guys will open the Volkskriegs out in the open, need to retreat the Penal Troopers soon. They're about to die in a rather permanent manner. Gruesome. Guardsmen there, closing in veterans to one steadily. And rushing straight for the listening fuel point here. Angreifen knows where the game's at, and it's about denying the Soviets as much fuel as possible, and he's already got that lead, because otherwise he's going to get completely curb stomped by Jove and the Red Army. You can soon go for the T-7 light tank, in fact go for it right now, and he in fact right now goes for it. So nice play there by Jove, not missing a beat to pressure his opponent. The FlaK after and then need repairs. German pioneers are occupying the south. That's going to take a bit of a while, though they have been very kindly dispatched by Jove there to fix it up. Opening up the eastern resources again, even as losing the western one. Still he's, well, getting rough for the same amount of resources. Angreifen, that's quickly changing there. FlaK after need repairs badly. Back here, troops reinforcing. We got medics up, of course. T-7 is almost done for Jove. Here's ground points here. Again, looking to cut off the fuel point first before grabbing it. He's also going to need minesweepers, and they are a bit preoccupied there. I mean, he could try and grab it still, but it's going to take a more management. Plus, in case of a counterattack by Angreifen, he has to retreat. He then risks having to retreat through the S-mine field. So I can understand that Jove isn't quite waltzing into it eagerly. In the west counterattack here, the Penal Troopers and the T-7 light tank forming up a small, agile battle group, which Angreifen on the western side is going to have a bit of hard time there. Ooh, dealing with. Almost got a wipe there on the Volksgrenadiers. Close one MG34 right here with the T-70 light tank. Volks is almost taken out. And there you go, minefield in the east being swept out here by Jove's engineers. Cleared out. And Angreifen almost done with a Kedden effort. Volks are under fire from the T-70 light tank, taking heavy damage. With the T-70 there almost annihilating them, but not quite in the end. Seizing points in the southeast. Back here we've got troops reinforcing as well. Well, obviously he's going to commit to more light vehicles, but he just try and go straight ahead for the mechanized armor company and try and push out a T-34-85 as soon as possible. That'll probably be the optimal solution here versus Angreifen, to be honest. FlaK out first of the T-70. Close one there. Fumes over as the light infantry gun. Fumes going to need to fall back soon. Needs moving about. Fumes with their routing. FlaK half-attack falling forwards. They need to be careful. They're already down to less than half health. Joe meanwhile committing some more guardsmen, adding more DP light machine guns, of course hitting the western fuel point as well again. Nice flexible fluid play there by Jove, and Angreifen certainly no slouch either of these, struggling here to catch up with Jove's antics so far. Got the western fuel point again, meaning he's once more got both fuel points, getting once more a notable fuel lead here over his fascist opponent. FlaK after this good to go once more for Angreifen and the 3rd Panzerdivision, the dritte Panzerdivision. Also fun fact about the 2cm FlaK he was using, it's actually doing Operation Barbarossa, turned out against the some T-34, and some were produced using different methods, but versus some of them at the very least, since again I can't remember if they're all built like that, but some of them were basically built like huge cast iron bells. It was just cast in one go the entire hull. And as it turned out, that basically meant they operated like huge cast iron bells, meaning that FlaKs kept firing at them. It would drive the crews insane because the tanks began ringing out loudly, so the crews basically surrendered. So, yeah, little fun fact there. Not exactly a story here a lot about, but, it's an interesting little one there. Guineas flanking in there, like heading outside the house. Hay mortar out here for Jove, the 120mm HM38. Not the heaviest mortar the Soviets had, they also had a 160mm mortar, which was really big and I believe had to be breech loaded rather than just fired like a normal mortar. MG34 dealing with engineers. We've got T-Swing about here with Penal Troopers. East side there. Joe's made good progress with Angreifen as well. Lime's gone in a bit of trouble with the Guardsmen. Almost got it here. MG34 have been flanked with the T-70. Almost wiped out here, but it does look like here that Angreifen is able to salvage here from Jove and the Soviet army. We got the line gun finally, infantry moving ahead here with MP44, so Sturmgriff M46. Basically, it's just the mass of the name. Technically, there's no actual difference between the STG-44 and the MP44, though. But the official name was the STG-44. Once so, was sort of finally properly approved. There you go, mines down here in the east. Going for the western point, we got Pumas on the way there. We got gas moving up to support though. That's going to be a bit of a problem here for Angreifen. Joe can actually begin going for the mechanized armor company and begin preparing for bringing up the T-34s. Folks there dodging a hit there almost from the heavy mortar that still gets one. Actually didn't apparently. There's something else getting killed there, but there you go, damaging the T-70 from a Panzerfaust. And the West Penal Troopers, Guardsmen they're holding up. We got the FlaK after coming in. Guardsmen though might be a bit difficult with the FlaK after to deal with since they're in heavy cover. And it can't immediately suppress them, can't do a lot of damage. That means they can do plenty of damage with their PTRS anti-tank rifles. Getting out into the open to try and pop them out of cover with the incendiary grenade, but a bold move there by Angreifen. He's now using that to pull ahead the FlaK half-track, probably using the smoke here to cover it up. Nice move there, then he's going to use the tank round, using the Volksguns line of sight, and then hits with the Guardsmen and roughly where they are, while at the same time trying to deny as much firepower in return from the Guardsmen. It's pretty close here. And he's almost losing his FlaK half-attack, but he does repulse the Guardsman. But that was really dicey, and some slightly different RNG rolls there, and Angreifen, I think, would have been short one FlaK half-attack. So that was just super risky, and in this case paid off. Not necessarily something I recommend in a lot of cases. Haymore to them moving ahead, they're ready to bombard the fascists. Fun fact about the heavy mortar, the 120mm mortar is actually used extensively by the Axis as well, and particularly the Germans, since it's just straight up copied the design and you just reproduce it like that. But I believe also the Finnish, the Romanians and the Hungarians make great use of it as well, as it was just seemingly good design and effective. And again, it's not one of those details you hear a lot about. On the west side, we got Metchney 2 there, 6 kills, and Unisi's in points. We got mines up. We got mines going off there in the Guardsmen. Bit of a blow there to Joe, they're nothing critical. And you fit on the west of us, the T-70. I'm going for the Schwerpanzer quarters, which is great, but the problem is that Joe's building up the mechanized armor company, and now he'll be able to go for T-34 fast, so Angreifen's going to need something a bit heavier, I think, than the Panzer IV to have a good chance. And meanwhile, though, he's going for Obersoldaten, nice choice there. Not a big part of the Oberkommandos meta, since most of us right now, mechanized ready into spare cops with Command Panthers, so Obersoldaten overall tend to be less part of it, and even if, they don't go for that, Obersoldaten still tend not to be, say, a first pick amongst many Oberkommandos players. Guards from there, they're wiped out, bit of blow there to Jove and the 2nd Guards Rifle Division. More guards from that was making up for those casualties in the fight against fascism. T-moving about here, mechanized armor company are good to go. And he's got the fuel, he just needs to man plug him in, rolling in those T-34-85s. Aim more to their firing in. So far, though, not landing any particular amazing hits. They'll get a bit of damage in there. One thing Joe could consider is just calling in a segment, at which point he's got himself a nasty heavy mortar battery, in which case he could just saturate an area with, high volume fire. Back here, troops healing and enforcing for Angreifen for the German army. FlaK half-track slowly advancing at the pace of the Sturmpioniere. In the centre, they also got exposed against the T-70 and are, well, very much repulsed easily by Jove. And so I'm interested to see how Angreifen reacts once the T-35 arrives. So I'd imagine that's what Joe's going for now. He could go for the T-34-76 because it's faster, but it's not like it's going to be that much faster, I think, to get. FlaK after him the TC note, he's using it to spot ahead as well, trying to spot out for other things, but there he goes straight into the Kedmia for the FlaK half track. That's going to be, I think, the loss here for Joe. Yes, T-70 went down as an 18th on the rocker there, pierces it, cooks off the munitions, and kills the crew. In the east, the big assault here by Angreifen committing most of his infantry. All of the Volksgun escorts are being pushed in. We got a few mines to slow them down, but not enough. And with Joe's focus now on the west side, he's going to have to either break off the assault on the west or accept losing the east to Angreifen. There's certainly some thoughts going on. Then we got the Guardsmen going there for the FlaK half-track, pop smoke, veteran flee. Schwerpanzer quarters revealed, and of course we got the Obersoldaten as well there with the LMG-34. Mercilessly gunning down Jove's engineers with no sign of mercy. And these points secure, and there we go. Jove is going for the T-34-85. I mean, Angreifen could go for the Panzer IV, but with the T-34-85 on the way, he's more likely to benefit from a Jagdpanzer or a Panther. The Panzer IV is not particularly favoured against the T-34-85 due to its high health overall, but also just decent penetration, meaning the Panzer IV's arm advantage is less pronounced. At which point, again, it's basically come down to, well, who's got the most health, and that's the T-34-85. Plus, it's actually cheaper by a bit than the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV there at 380 man-pound, 140 fuel. The T-34-85 is at 380 man-pound, 130 fuel. So not a big difference, it's still a difference. FlaK half-track out and doing on the FlaK half-track. Got Veteran 2 there. FlaK half-track closing in Veteran 4 slowly. The guards from the previous nuisance. There you go. T-34 going far in the south, engaging the Volksguns there with high firepower. Mines laid down there by Angreifen, but the T-35 rolls over them as though they were nothing. Into the T-35, they are nothing. Absolutely nothing. They are but dust. And soon those Germans will be dust as well. At least large core chunks. Pushing up their flanking, he's going to try and coordinate him with a Kedmia shot, but Panzer IV was a bit too early. Still, Goes quick to pull back his T-45. Angreifen is looking like he's going to go here for the Panther, realising the Panther 4 here would be a bit silly. We got bun grenades off here, mortar fire raining down. Both sides routine there from the calf point. In the west, we got Funny for the other calf point. Garfin there remaining in hit the dirt mode. They're being hammered there with the T-34-85. And his mighty 85mm gun, same as used on the H-35. As a fun fact. And was nabbed from a Soviet anti-aircraft gun. Well, you know, it had 85mm caliber. We got the Panther on the way there for Angreifen, now in response to the T-3045, since the Panther fights does much more efficiently. Which is obviously what Angreifen should be aiming for. Moving eastwards, mine going down. He'll quickly able to go for more T-3045s, and of course also the chance there of Angreifen getting swarmed by a lot of tanks, though Joe could also just go for the H-85, but I think a pair of T-3045s could have some nice effects there. But again, going for an H-85 to back up his T-3045 versus the Panther is definitely not a bad idea either. It's, in fact, might even be the better idea, but I personally prefer more T-3045s. Sniper on the way for Jove, an interesting choice here at this stage of the game. I can understand it though, with Orbital around plus all these support weapons. A sniper all of a sudden doing all of this could, you know, cancels it. I was about to say, you know, it could see it making sense, but I guess Jove either misclicked or decided, you know what, let's not go there. Moving up there again, note all the S-mines that Angreifen keeps chucking down against Jove, and also worth noting that Jove is right now floating a lot of munitions. Push back here, big push, mine goes off. T-45 shoots. And there you go, push into the west there, Garfin versus the Panther. He's going to crash them there if Jove doesn't get away soon. Oh, he retreats just in time before his men were pretty much just immediately buried there by the Panther. In the east, forced to give ground here, and we got the H-45 on the way there for Jove to assist the T-45 versus the Panther. Okay, troops reinforcing. Angreifen swiftly moving ahead, seizing as much as he can. He could booby trap some of the points with the Orbital Dart, and he could just try and lay down more S-mines once he got the Sturm Pioneers of Volkskonzert in the area. And in fact, might be seeing what here with the push for the calf point there. Heavy mortar engineers spotted in the process. And we've got the H-85 there riding for Jove for the Red Army. Panther there sweeping about. FlaK after moving in there. Doing nice work with that. So rare again, you see to get to see a well-handled FlaK half-tank. So it's very nice to see when someone like Angreifen actually gets around to doing it. H-5 moving in there, shoots and misses spectacularly the FlaK half-tank. That's a bit of bad development there for Joe, with a great luck for Angreifen. Panther those less lucky, mine goes off there. Straight and empty for the full there, containing Jove's advance for now. As Jove's looking to break through here, through the centre. I mean, he could also just consider launching an assault up for the west and rushing the Schwer Panther quarters down. Maybe, of course, with a Panther about that would involve its own risks. But I'm not entirely sure just taking head on into where Angreifen is likely to be most prepared for it is the best idea on there. Got a Kednev from there, pushing back the H-5. Garfin there being pinned down to the ground, Filter taking heavy damage as well. T-45 there firing away, 8 kills on it. Kednev opening up. Garfin peels from up the flank, who rushed the Kednev and steals away there from Angreifen. That'd be pretty great. Plus, can only really steal it. He could also destroy it, I guess, but that wouldn't be bad either. But I think Kednev and I would help him. Now we got another sniper attempt here by Jove. Will he stick the course this time around, or will he once more decide he needs something else? More smarts up here for Angreifen. Once more looking to control the flow of infantry, and I'll just, you know, try and punish Jove. He sort of loses attention for any moment. He can just, you know, quickly run a bunch of troops in this minefield and take heavy losses potentially. And now we can see here that Angreifen is bringing up the big guns. He's bringing up the PaK-43, which is the same gun as the Yak Panther, not Yak Tiger, but the Elephant Tank Destroyer, and the Yak Panther. If I haven't already mentioned that. And also the NAS one, there you go, that's the one. High velocity in the gun. Note this version was the early model of the PaK-43, since they rather lacked the chassis they sort of wanted to mount the gun on. It's called chassis, that's what they call it. those acting meant to be sort of more like a crucible, unlike the FlaK 88, which can just mostly turn on his own point. Direct hit on the HU5 by the Pak 43, of course that's going to make it harder for Jove to operate around the centre. And then of course is the big challenge here, which I imagine Angreifen wants Jove to have to deal with. So very nasty there, but effective. In part because a lot of players tend not to encounter a lot of Pak 43s, so when they do encounter them, they do have a slight tendency of then sort of freezing up a bit. And can be to your advantage if you are the German player popping down, if you pop it down in the right place. Pushing east, that penal troop was backed up by Gartner versus Angreifen's infantry assault. The forces then making decent progress, backed up by the opposite, but in the end the assault collapses. Angreifen has no confidence the assault can succeed without further unnecessary losses, and instead breaks off the attack rather than waste more manpower. Some might argue that was a bit too quick, but you know, I can see the logic. He might have been worried about tanks or hay mortars, you know, landing or suddenly a killing blow. So rather than risk that at that stage, he just pulls them back. FlaK after then watch. Back here troops in reinforcing. Of course the question is for Jove, how does he deal with the Pak 43? I mean, one option would be just to try and snuff it up with hay mortars, and another would be to lower to smoke screen, rush in for the infantry, in which case the penalty would just run up and start to charge it. I mean, he's got plenty of munitions, so it's a strategy I feel like they could work quite well. I mean, fire the smoke rounds around here, then charge in, and then satchel the Pak 43 until it explodes, obviously. There you go, T-Fed Vonda backing up the HU5 here around the centre. We've got Angreifen pushing forwards for the fatherland. Almost got a wipe here though. HU5 though heavily damaged by Angreifen's Raketenwerfer. And forces in the west are taking crippling casualties as well there from Jove's defenders. FlaK out of the bling it, and it's going to get flanked here by the guardsmen. Buttoning up as well there, nice play there by Jove, punishing Angreifen there for a slight mistake here. It's so close to SC4 as well though, but there's a good chance of losing it to Jove's forces in the east. Panther pushed back with a marked target. Nope, looks like the FlaK after that's get away there. Pretty lucky there for Angreifen reacting in time, but it was pretty close. No, he's moving into the guardsman. He's moving into the guardsman. Oh dear, he might not realise what's going on there. He might get lucky and they don't do enough damage. Oh dear, pathing. Oh shiza. And the FlaK half track is down. A grueling blow there to Angreifen. A nice victory there for Jove. Quick bang grenade on the guardsman. Quickly dodged though. And we got Jove here going for the Katyusha. Likely it's going to be one of his ways to try and deal with that heavy mortar, I imagine. Machine gun barrel carrying the centre as well there. To help make it easier for Angreifen to use his other forces more efficiently. Katyusha there just slowly trying to the front line. Mark Lee collected there in the Command Panther. Panther moving in, half H which one there, go direct HU5 here on the Panther, piercing the frontal armour. And the Katyusha is almost done there for Jove. West side 1 diligent machine gun crew there, contains the entire cemetery. Well, defends it. And there you go, Katyusha rocket launch out for Jove and the 2nd Guards Rifle Division as they continue their attempts to shatter the fascists and the morale. The Angreifen suddenly proving to be a very spirited commander. Guardsmen holding up there still, we got Fulton straight to them. Katyusha there is moving eastwards. I mean, he could try and move it up here, but the problem is there's nothing to really screen or protect it against, you know, a dive there from Angreifen. The Katyusha very quickly go down as he moves it to the east, where again more of his stuff is. He can mostly just protect it by just keeping it behind them, roughly. Big push against the guys pushing away there, backed up by the Panther. Katyusha firing. Nope. Hey, mortar firing. Looks like he's not trying to silence the Pak 43 anytime soon. Of course, that could easily change. There you go, Katyusha firing. Ice firing to the west. They're hoping to catch all of Angreifen's infantry. He unleashes a barrage straight from hell, which, well, misses absolutely everything. Ooh, South charge in the pack for the free. Nice play there by Jove. Nice play. Wiping out the crew of the pack for the fifth operable. One option you could consider is just grabbing it and turning against the bunker. You know, maybe some of Angreifen's other stuff. Or you could just wait to pop another satchel charge. Not very often you get an opportunity like that. And either way, I think both options would be roughly equally valid. Moving in the guard to finish off. They've got the line gun there continuing to fire away. And the pack for the free is about to expire here. There we go, destroyed. Also, they're moving head straight here from the T-35 over there, causing a bit of damage. Katyusha still got some time to go for it and fire again. And there you go, lots of Guard engineers and whatnot, causing a complete rout here for Angreifen's infantry force. And Angreifen commits to 2nd Panther. Bold, aggressive move there. Also expensive, but certainly in the right hands could prove to be very efficient. Pampering in, the landing in a quick hit there, with its stabilizes him from the gun against the T-35, which continues to hit as well. But Kedron flanking, causing more grief there for Jove and the 2nd Guard 5 Division. HG5 taking the pain as well now. Panther moving in for the HG5, needs to clear out that like Kedron to deal with it, one way or the other. So it's not just, you know, like rockets that are the problem, it's the reconnaissance he can do while cloaked. There's a bit of the problem there for Jove. Machine gun bunker there being repaired, but taking him down from the guard from flanking in there. Plus we got the machine on the other side. Hey, more firing down there. Almost got that bunker. It is slowly being repaired, but it's taking damage. Oh, the guards will retreat. Now we got the Katyusha there to finish off the job, or at least push away the pioneers. Nope, he's firing into the base. Hoping to catch something and destroy it, but he's mostly getting medics, I think. He got a single orbital garden perhaps, but that didn't actually count. Got another kill, which didn't count either. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong black unit. There we go. My apologies. Got a poor night's sleep there. Basically, roughly less than 4 hours. Couldn't fall asleep, so I might be a bit wobbly here and there, in which case I do apologise. Sniper guards dealing with the advance on the Kedron now for that, pushing it back. We got close to eventually 2 down the sniper. 10 kills so far though. Not bad at all, not bad. Culture's Panther moving in there. Penals was being pushed back. Ooh, Panther needs to be careful. One incautious move in front of Jove's lines could result in a lot of damage very fast. Seizing points here. Sniper being pulled back for healing, most needed. Well, he can consider. Well, he's active full pop cap, so he can't consider anything. I mean, in terms of like building, he doesn't have any bunkers or anything like that. He could build caches though to prepare for the future, but it's not like he needs more fuel and munitions. At some point, he had a huge float, so I don't know, maybe the munitions. We got 330 versus 206. Joe making an advance here for the Red Army. Mine's been laid down as well to try and break up any potential assaults there for Angreifen. Aim more to there. Half feet of eventually 3. Very good there for Jove. Panther hanging back in the centre. A bit of a light skirmishing on the west there. Similar as well, but the guards from the snow trying to break through Angreifen's left flank. The opposite line they're taking the brunt of it for now. Being obviously more elite and more dangerous. Jove very wisely focuses them down, ignoring the false conditions until later. But in this case, it doesn't quite pan out in the end. 200 points left for Jove, and the 2nd Guards relegation of the fight continues against the 3rd Panzer Division. Back here, all quiet for Angreifen. And of course, worth noting, he does have double Panthers. That is 2 Panthers, which is going to be a problem there for Jove. He's going to need more to attack firepower. I was going to have to handle this very cautiously. Notice T-35 there, eventually 18 kills. Right now, the Angreifen is building up his Panthers, which means, in theory, if Joe sort of spots the one Panther, maybe somehow, you know, leaves it a bit damaged with the engine, he can probably sort of swarm destroy it, and maybe destroy it before Joe can win the other Panther and other forces supported. I mean, his Panther on the right flank is actually a bit risky. To put it fairly mildly. Katyusha's there firing away. Unleashing hell. straight into the base again, hoping to catch any of Angreifen forces there, but fortunately I was a bit limited this time around, which I'm sure Angreifen is most appreciative of, if he hadn't realised it. It's not far there. In the west. Got these moving up. There you go. Veteran 2 by the way. That's a very nice bonus there. Increased penetration accuracy. T4 moving in. There you go. More hits to the Panther there. Combat blitz to get out of there and of course do a bit more extra damage while doing so. Down to very little health now here for Angreifen. You could see the Panthers being lost here. No marked vehicle. Missed opportunity I think there by Jove still. Oh, main gun out, main gun out. HU5 misses the Panther by a narrow margin. So close. They got the other Panther moving, going to try and finish off that T-45. McKenna taking a hit down the HU5. We got Sniper, Haymotor falling back. Got Marge on the way here to be basing in there, I think, Angreifen's forces. And he's ignoring the HU5. He's going straight to the base there. He has sense there where the T-45 went. But there you go, mining the entrance to space. Nice play there by Jove. Catches Angreifen's base, or tank there right at the entrance in space. There's got no way of punishing this since the HU5 is on the other end of the base. Still, nice work there by Jove. Nice foresight. Guardsman added here. Well, here, mortar farm. We got deep light machine there dropped. T-35 there being repaired. HU5 need a bit of repairs. And there you go. Managed to grab the DP light machine there on the penal troopers. We got 318 vessels on the 79. We also got Searing Artillery available here for Angreifen, just further make Joe's day what some might call miserable. Fixing up the Panther, very close to Veteran 2. And we got the trot on the way there for Angreifen. That's slightly going to be the mechanized reckoning, though I think at this stage it's probably going to be primarily for repairs, so sort of speed things up there, rather than have to constantly micromanage your steering pioneers to get it all fixed. Rocket flying to the north here, threatening to wipe out Angreifen's infantry, but so far the Jove has not had a lot of luck firing randomly into his opponent's base with that Katyusha rocket launcher. And they'd probably been better just trying to look for other targets with which, you know, hit with an awful lot of rockets. Penal was the forces in the west. In the east, they've got Panther against the T-45. We've got Garden carrying the flank. They're doing some damage to the Panther, which gains effective 2 shots and added. Heavy damage inflicted from the HU5 and the T-45. Leaving Angreifen's Panther heavily damaged. Nice shot up in there for Jove, though he is obviously not in the clear, far from it. So he needs to put some more effort, I think, there versus Angreifen. Needs to try and do something that will surprise Angreifen and allow Jove to make some heavy damaging kills there. T-45 against the orbital gun in the east. Earlier guards their close being run over by the Panthers, but Jove realizes what's going on there and saves them just before they become pancakes. With a nice socialist jam on top. Orbital as engineers. Once more pulling back for repairs. We've got the Katyusha hanging back close to firing again. Akenos also retreating there. Panther hanging up with the MD-34 as well. Panther there receiving repairs. Mechanized running up there by the Schwer punted quarters. Standard stuff. Plenty of minutes to flow there by Angreifen. Again, I suspect part of it is just he wants to have Searing Artillery ready in case Joe pulls off something which he's not ready for, in which case Searing Artillery could prove to be the one thing between him and a sudden reversal and thus a total demise. And there you go. He does pop it now. Actually, that's... I feel like the timing for this is a bit awkward, if not wrong. I can't help but suspect it might have been this click or he had some other plan. Either way, though, that does not look quite right. But there you go. Panther into it, though. Bit lucky there, I guess, for Jove. No, I mean, anyways, we're up the eastern side here. Right now, the Joe's very much in the defensive as Angreifen. Again, needs to switch up tactics, approach. We need to again try and surprise Angreifen. So we need to hit some of the weaker, vulnerable units, isolating the Panthers. And we got a close quarters barrage here on the car on there. Oh, close one there, actually. S-Mars being designated there by the highly explosive payload of the Katyusha rockets. And here's a fun fact about the Katyusha, which I not heard a lot about, but the Waffen SS were actually impressed with the Katyushas and would copy them. But they just sort of set them up on Panzerwerfers instead, but they would use the exact same rockets. I believe some saw usage in Normandy actually. That's an additional fun fact. Union standing about. Clearing out march, slow down the Angreifen, slow down the march by Jove, and that's exactly what they're doing. Again, he's trying to attack into a position of Angreifen's ready. He's even digging trenches. How often do you see an Oberkommando S player digging trenches? I mean, he's actually gone full bingo on this. Almost, except he lacks the howitzer. I mean, he's got heavy fortifications used. He's used field defense. He's used the Patriot thing, used steering artillery. The only thing he lacks now is the Leichtfeldhaubitz. Also, my mistake there again with the steering artillery. Again, it's Angreifen used against Jove, not the other way around for some reason. Again, I'm tired. I'm afraid my brain is at times short-circuiting a bit. So again, my sincere apologies for that mistake. Panther being fixed up, seizing the point here. Engineers, guards moving in. Air smiles down here. Machine gun in the trench. Again, all he needs is the howitzer, and he's gone full Doctrinal Bingo with fortifications. I think that had to be a record, like in a game record, that someone actually went for every single ability in the damn doctrine. Guardsmen, there's just focusing, but they're getting in pretty close and pretty aggressive. The Guardsmen a bit on their own here, with only engineers to back them up. We got the T-55 moving in. Ooh, shoots and misses. Hey, mortar number 2 up for Joe here, so he's calling in mortar 9, attempt to sort of batter Angreifen and the German army into submission with that. Panther moving up there. Going forwards. Quickly button up there, but can Joe punish this aggressive Panther move? There you go. Ace H-55 tanks are up. Second Panther moving from the north here slowly. You got the Katyusha firing again, hoping to imagine and destroy something. There you go, firing at the trench positions, doing some light damage. But overall, ooh, nice flank there. The heavy mortar crew by Angreifen. Still, the amount of progress Joe's making right now is a bit dismal. He's down to 90 versus his opponent's 304. And there you go, heavy mortar crew annihilated. End it. They're routed brutally. Panther hanging back, close to Veterans 1. And we got the Ace Guardsman versus almost Ace Orsoldaten. Again, not something we get to see either. Certainly a match with a lot of things that is not actually quite common at the moment. Guardsman sitting out here for Jove for the Red Army. At the T-55, they're gaining the ace level as well. They increase rate of fire. That's certainly a problem there for Angreifen's infantry and armour. Probably less for the Panthers. Still, higher rate of fire on T-55 means they can do a lot more damage, and a flank can be a lot more dangerous. Penal troops occupying there. Angreifen's trench, stealing all away his hard work. There we go. Panther crashes the trench. There you go. H-5 goes in straight forward. 74 points left here for Jove. H-5 on Lykedon. Taking Panther from Lykedon. If we got the Panther in, there you go. Bit of mistake with Jove. Plus, it seems like a pathing error there. Either way, though, H-5 Ace Tank Destroyer is down. A big one there for Angreifen. A massive Flitzers. Panther removed. Probably the biggest one by far. And it's going to leave Jove a bit dry. He's going to need more tank destroyers, obviously, but otherwise he's a bit undergunned, to be honest. And certainly an argument should have been he shouldn't have gone for a second heavy mortar there, to be honest. He should have gone for more tank destroyers, tanks, to take on Angreifen's Panthers more efficiently, because they're definitely going to be a rather nasty obstacle. Katyusha there so far, 9 kills. Not the most impressive kill tally there. 61 versus 3 and 4. Guards being flanked here by the Panther. Ace Panther there on the flank, but the Panther quickly deflects that with a few well-placed hits. Katyusha hanging back. Back troops in reinforcing. Five kills, veterans you won. Support and company up there for Jove. Less than 50 points left here for Joe, and points are quickly running out like sand in an hourglass that's been broken. We're talking the bottom half. That's just quickly going to rush out and vanish. 41 points left, 39 points left there. Joe's teeth up the rush force going straight for the Panther there, but it's sadly not making much impression there on Angreifen. Need to get the other Panther in there, I feel like. It seems like it's being repaired. Yep. Mines exploding, infantry exploding. You got 20 kills in the Ace T for the 45. There you go, folks, wiped out, almost annihilated entirely here, and that could be very lucky. There you go, wipe. A small win for Joe, but he's down at 25 points though. Versus Angreifen's 304. Joe has utterly forgotten about the west side. He's just become a lot less maneuverable here versus Angreifen, a lot less flexible. Angreifen bringing up the Obersoldaten now. Very nice work there, very nice work. Panther moving in. Waterloo fight. No, cancels the Obersoldaten. What can we be planning? Oh, Sturm Pioneers on the move there. Might be a howitzer here. There we go. We got the howitzer. I mean, we actually got full Doctrinal Bingo there from Angreifen using fortifications. Impressive. 12 points left here for Joe. 12 points. Katyusha flying here in the centre. Rockets are flying too far, missing the mark. Okay, measures the AC. Directed here from Panther on the T for the 45. Crew wiped. Panther's there in the hunt. T-45 they're down to half health already. They're having skirmishes out with the double Panthers. H5 taking hits. T-45 almost been stopped. We got 11 points left here for Jove. 10 points. Oh, he moved away from the victory point there. 9 points, and that's going to be, I think, GG here though. Angreifen grabbing the centre one. Jove's not grabbing the eastern one. 8 points. 7 points. T-45 there. H5 down. Angreifen has changed Joe apart here, and the howitzer can soon join in as well here. Absolute carnage and chaos. 31 kills in the Obersoldaten. Need to retreat them, and that's GG. Game over. Loss here for Joe. A victory for Angreifen. A victory for Deutschland. A brutal series of engagements here on Crossroads. Joe, at times I think I was close, but he failed, I think, to exploit the left flank. Then at times he also just fell into sort of a head-butting pattern with Angreifen, which proved to be the advantage of Angreifen. So there's some room for improvement there by Jove. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.